Hello, friends. I'm Saffron Asteria, the host of Booked.
I'm author Daniel Coolbaugh, the host of the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Fanatics podcast.
And this is a crossover episode, which is very exciting, sort of on behalf of the Rings of Adventure anthology. So I'm very, very excited to talk about that. The chat's already popping off, so I'll say hi to everyone in a second. But I'm looking forward to talking about each other's work and our contributions to the anthology. And hopefully you guys will learn a little bit more about what this awesome project is. And if we can answer any questions, Ro is in the chat, so he can answer them.
I love you. Just threw it right up the chain. I like that.
Why not? I don't know the answer to a lot of things. I'm just sort of here.
That's awesome.
So before we get started, we have a lot of people in the chat, mostly people that are contributing to the anthology. So we've got the lovely Ellen Holmes. We have Sarah Arnoux. We've got, this might take me a minute. We've got Sebastian Carlisle. Hopefully I'm pronouncing everybody's names correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I'm not a magician. Just automatically knowing stuff. Hello to you, Pure Nightshade. I can't remember who you are, but I know you are someone we know. I'm very sorry. I find it very hard to remember people's tags and stuff. We also have Uncle Tim McKay. And we have scrolling. We have Ro Bushy, who is one of the sort of gods of the anthology, putting everything together, getting us all sort of intermingled. Melissa Stone, thank you. I'm so sorry, Melissa. It wasn't on purpose. I just have a brain like a colander. It's like a sieve, but the holes are bigger, so everything falls out much, much faster. So, Sarah, stop causing trouble. Okay, so we're talking about the anthology. The thing I want to know is, how did you get involved?
Oh man. So Ro and I had a live episode several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because Ben Shankman and I actually talked, and we're in already planning, and Ro and I discussed this. I think it was like before we went live, and then a little bit after, where he's like, yeah, I want to do a Kickstarter. And he like presented this idea, and I was like, oh, it sounds really cool. And then I talked about like our idea for Arcane Awakenings a little bit. And then I think it was like maybe like several days later, Ben and I went ham on ours. And we're like deep in planning with Alan Silverwood, our editor, and one of our other core team members. And then I got an email from Ro, and he's like, hey, we talked about this, like, would you like to do it? And I was like, I am so slammed. And I'm pretty sure I said no at first, like I didn't have time. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, Ben's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Like, are you doing this? And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Ben, no. Yeah. And then I saw like EL was in there, and all of a sudden like the whole like email chain started popping off. And I started seeing people, and I was like, I said to my wife, I was like, I'm just gonna have to make the time. And like she had like just gotten over like a concussion at like work and stuff. So
oh my God.
Yeah, my friend was like, that's why I was like, I don't think I have time. Like I was doing extra daddy duty and stuff and stuff around the house. So my friend's like, no, like you can do this. So I had talked about a couple stories through my urban fantasy universe, and him and I chatted quite a bit about it. And then he was like, yeah, I think you got this. And I ended up totally switching my story later on because the character didn't really work and stuff. But I'm glad I like right as soon as Ben said that, and I'm thankful for my friend Dan. He's like, no, you can do this. And yeah, I'm grateful for both of them, because I was like, you know what? So I sent another message back to Ro email. I was like, actually, I am going to do it. Like, I'm good to go. And I'm glad, because then I saw everybody else get filled in. I was like, oh, these are people I love in the community, and I was like, I saw your name. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something that I have to be a part of. So yeah, so I thought it was really, really cool. So
it is really, really cool seeing all the names that we're intermingled with. Often I keep thinking, why am I here? Like, I don't, like, in a good way. In a good way. Yeah. And I just like to correct Ro. It was your poor wife that had the concussion, not you. So that can't be blamed.
Right. Yeah. To this. That's fair. God, Ro, did it feel like I had a concussion?
I don't think it's been that bad, to be honest. But I didn't like the word. What was the word maximum? The word count maximum, was it 5,000?
5,000.
Yeah, I didn't touch that. I was like, I don't need to say that many words. So I imagine if you did hit that word count, or if you're like E.L. Montague, exceed that by possibly tenfold, it makes the editing a lot easier.
Yeah,
when you have like 2,000 words. But yeah, so your experience with writing your story. So we were given this prompt, this
Yep.
thing that links everything together. So like the theme of the anthology is rings. And so I was told, and I'm sure you were told very similarly, it can be any interpretation of the word. And we have a lot of
Yeah.
authors in the anthology. So there are lots of like literal rings that have been rung. What we're trying to say, there are lots of stories that have actual literal rings in them.
Yeah.
So when you first got the prompt, so you've already said that your original story wasn't the one that we've ended up with.
Yeah.
How did that journey go for you? Because you didn't have a lot of time to think about it.
Well, yeah, like, so I had my 10,000 word story for our Kickstarter for Arcane Awakenings. I've been trying to go with my same character for my prequel novellas and my Monster Hunter series. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do this. And I had a pretty good idea and I had like fully outlined it and stuff. But then, yeah, it just like, he was like, yeah, this just isn't really my type of story. And I've had another character in mind. I have like an Avengers style cast of characters in my urban fantasy world. So I had another character that was like, actually, yeah, this is like more my type of story. And they actually in my head kind of like discussed it without me. And I was like, okay. So then I kept trying to fit my other character into the other story and it just wasn't working. And then I'm a historian. I'm historically trained as a historian from Michigan State University. So and I teach history. But like, so I went back and I thought, well, what do I really want to do? What can I do with the theme? And then I came up with a pretty good idea. And I added to the character that I was already thinking. He's kind of like a different D&D style class, but in like an urban fantasy setting. And that's what I went with. He's kind of like a magical, like a Gandalf mixed with like Indiana Jones. I thought, ooh, and I serendipitously was finding just interesting things. And all of a sudden I had like 3 different ideas, kind of, you know how it is. You're just researching and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, I could do this, this, and this. And all of a sudden I had a really cool story. And then it was like, got slammed at the end of the school year. So Ben Shankman helped me out quite a bit with the editing. So thank you, Ben, just like in our anthology. And like really helped me to solidify those like 3 things that I found in terms of my research to make something which I thought was pretty cool. So
I read your story and I can't remember its name, which is really terrible, but we've already established my memory's bad, so I'm off the hook.
Oh, I know this one. The Trouble with Spellbound Rings. And actually,
Perfect.
I had a different title, and much like everything that Ben does in my life, he made it better. And he goes, well, you don't have to change it. I go, no, this is so much better. So I give him credit for that title. Mine was pretty close, but his just sounded so cool. So I was like, nope, we're going with this. So yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome. Yeah, because when I was reading it, I didn't know that you were a historian. And I read it and then I was looking at your website and I was like, that makes sense.
That's awesome. I'm glad it made sense though.
It did, because I can see, and again, I'm going to be really, really careful not to spoil anything.
I know it's hard, right? Like,
and because they're so short, it would be so easy to spoil the whole thing. But you have this, and I don't know if it's like this with your other work. This, obviously, the fantasy elements, which are fantastical, and there is this suspension of disbelief that readers are going to get from reading fantasy. But you also then have like some actual historical stuff, things that people believe or people experience, that you've put into there as well. Is that something that's a common theme in your writing?
Yeah, because Ben was like, you're kind of pushing the envelope here with contemporary fantasy and urban fantasy. And I was like, well, it's hard because it's a short story, but I kind of wanted just like to give a glimpse into this character's life. And I always loved Morrowind and Oblivion, like when you're in like the kind of like the Mages Guild and you go on those quests and things. And that's kind of like was kind of the inspiration there. But for me, like growing up playing those games and going particularly through Oblivion and getting that experience, it was cool because then I was really interested. And when I went to Michigan State, actually when I went to the community college that I was at first, I had great professors that were like, no, like some of these things they're actually taking that are real events, real people, and real mythological items or swords or whatever. And they're taking a little bit of a kernel of truth and then, making them more fantastical. And it just happens to be, this one is in a fantasy setting in Oblivion. And that really like changed my perspective of how to use like mythology and history,
Mm,
like into writing. So I do that all the time. That's what I love about Patricia Briggs's writing. That's what I love about Kevin Hearn's like Iron Druid Chronicles,
mhm,
the Dresden Files. Like that's what I love about urban fantasy, just
mm,
in general. I think it's fun to take like what we know and the real world and add some of those mysterious or mystical elements,
mm.
and some history. And I don't know, you always get something really cool out of it, I think.
Oh, for sure. If I had to pick like a subgenre of fantasy, it would have to be urban fantasy or a genre of fantasy, because because we already are assumed to know as readers what
Mm.
half of the stuff is.
Yeah.
There's less of the imagery than you would get
Yeah.
if it was like a fully fantastical world. But
Yep.
I have to ask, when you're playing fantasy-based games,
Yep.
what is your class of choice?
Oh, it's difficult because usually I go like Paladin, Ranger.
Mhm,
Eh, it's really I go between those two.
mhm,
Sometimes I'll do like there's like a if there's like a war cleric or something like that. Usually it's like some sort of fighting class that has some sort of special ability. But Ranger is usually my preferred one. So
nice. I am a warrior or barbarian
oh, nice.
because I'm a tank.
Got my barbarian cup.
Nice.
Yeah, this company's amazing. If anybody wants it, I just sent it to Ingrid Moon again. It's like Activision or something like that. It's on
Mhm.
Amazon. The cups are amazing, and they have every class, by the way,
Oh, that's
including
cool.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's
well,
all the main like 30, and then the extended classes. Yeah, but yeah,
sweet.
your cups on there. You have to check it out.
I certainly will because I love a cup. I love collecting cups. That's a real issue in my house because there are so many. Um, so yeah, so you got a chance to read my story, and
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
little bit nervous about it because
Oh yeah.
this is my first thing that's going to be published.
Oh well, you picked a really good thing.
Thank you. And I feel like I've had fairly good feedback from it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm eager to hear what you thought.
Well, actually, I thought it was really good. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like like sit down and I've just we have our cover launches on Monday, so
Mhm.
I've literally gone through like 1,000 emails
Yeah,
I'm
no
sending
kidding.
out. Yeah, between today and tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I had to make my own list, by the way, everybody. If anybody wants the list, let me know. Be more than happy to help you guys because man, has it taken me all week. So I was like, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to read, even like, that, your words, your word count in
Mhm.
one sitting. And literally the only reason I got up out of my chair in like 10 minutes was to get water because it's so hot outside. I was like, I was in it right from the get go. And I think it's hard, right? Like to explain you really early on started to make me question like what was going on in the story. And I
Mhm.
kind of thought maybe I knew, but I wasn't sure. So it hooked me. And then you had a line that relates to our theme, I think is the
Mhm.
best way to put it. Which was totally different than my like,
Mhm.
way I interpreted the theme. And it like got me right there. And I think that's like probably like what like you're just a few lines in,
Mhm.
and that hooked me. And I was like, I need to figure out like what she did here. And I like flew through it. My wife texted me and she's like, oh, we're on our way. So like 5 minutes in, I literally got more water, came back, and waited for them to get home. And I it literally took me like, I don't even think it took me 10 minutes to read. I
Mhm.
just like blew through it. And then I started to reread it. Like the beginning again. It's like, wait, how did she do that? So I thought it was really good. I
Thank you.
was not expecting you to send me that story. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. But
Yes,
yeah, it was really awesome.
I've heard that a couple of times now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm nice. People don't expect something as dark as what I would normally write. And I think it frightens people a little bit because the original version of so my interpretation of the brief, I've said this on another show before, so I'm going to say it again. So my interpretation of the brief was a ringing phone.
Yeah.
And my original story was unsuitable for this particular audience, I think, because I was going to go with like a ringing in your ear, like tinnitus sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was going to be an extreme horror based around an elderly couple. And
Oh, that's
I
cool.
wrote it, and then I saw the note about it being PG-13. And then I went, oh, I can't. I couldn't compromise that particular story to fit this brief.
Yeah.
And
I
the
don't blame you.
requirements. And I understand why it's PG-13. I mean, there are a few little swear words here and there in some of the stories, and but I can see why we would need to appeal to a broader audience. But I was like, I can't do it to this story. You know, when you write something and you think the compromise isn't going to be worth it.
Oh yeah, I have one for like I'm doing for like it's like a sword. I was like kind of dark fantasy, but I could easily make it to sword and sorcery, which I'm doing, and I did. And but like I could fit that one into their like 7,500 word box because I was pretty close anyways. And you know, obviously things have to be, you know, tailored down and edited, but I totally get it. I had another story for this anthology, also same urban fantasy setting, cast of characters are pretty similar and stuff, but like I was like, I can't tell that story in, you know, this few words. And I tried really hard, but I was like, it's just, yeah, like you said, it would really, you know, impact the integrity of the story. So that's where I had to go back to the drawing board really again, to try and figure that out. So I think that's smart on your part, though, not trying to force it. And yeah, it sounds like a really cool story. So I can't wait to read that one.
Disgusting.
That's
it's
awesome.
not nice. It's not like I say this at basically every show. I love extreme horror. I love it so much. And it's in that category, and it would not be, no. I don't even know if I'm going to ever share it with anyone, but I'll probably save it for a collection of troubled stories. But I'm curious to know, because we have never conversed, I don't think.
No, yeah, like you were on my list for like my like upcoming 6th season. Like there's certain people where like I would like to do crossovers or, you know, try and get them on my channel. Andrew Gibler was we were joking, he's like, you seem like you like to collect people. I'm like, I really do. Like it's fun to be on someone else's channel, but you know, it's fun to do crossovers and, you know, to do different things. Yeah, so it's so funny because you're like the 5th person I've had this happen with, where I had you on my list, and then you're like, hey, wait a minute, let's do this thing. So I thought that was really cool. So if more people want to do things, like, yeah, just let me know and we can figure something out. So yeah, amazing. I thought that was pretty awesome. Call. Yeah.
It's an open call. Well, this happened really quickly because you were like, hey, do you want to do an episode together? And I was like, yes, let's do that. And then we planned it, and now it's happened. Oftentimes, I will, because I book up really far in advance.
Oh yeah,
because I like to know what I'm doing. I don't like an ambiguity. I don't want to risk ever missing a week.
Yeah,
I've been doing that. I think I've released at least one episode since December 1st every week.
Oh, nice.
And I have not missed a week. So I refuse to do that, and I'm now booked up till the end of the year.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so how long have you had your show?
Oh man,
while, right?
Yeah, so next month on my birthday, August 28th, will be 6 years. And actually, our editor, my friend Alan Silverwood, was actually my first guest ever. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yes, yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I've been following his work for a while, back 3 of his Kickstarters and stuff. He's awesome. So yeah, 6 years next month.
Wow.
And 5 days from now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, I was just talking to Herb and Stuart Engel about this, and yeah, it's like wild to think like I had talked to like Jed Hearn, Dirk Ashton, Rob DeHaze. I talked to Michael R. Fletcher, like Mike. I've had all of them but Jed on at least once. I've had Mike on twice, trying to get Rob and Dirk. We talked about coming back, but their Wizards, Words, and Words podcast, when it ended, it just like broke me because like it was like I loved it, and yeah, it was like one of those things, and I was like, I think I can do this, and they were so cool because I messaged them and each separately, and I was like, hey, like, you know, like, what do you think? And they all gave me really valuable advice, and I forget which one of them. I think it was Mike, like Michael R. Fletcher was like, yeah, like everybody at that time was like asking for things, and he's like, it would be cool if you offered something to people. So that's what I try to do with my podcast. And I had some people message me like, hey, you could get bigger numbers if you interview Brandon Sanderson or somebody. And I'm like, sure. But at the same time, Brandon's going to get interviewed all the time. And I love, like, I have people where I'm like Noah Brisks, and I just had our interview for the Tethered God, and it was cool because that was his first interview. I was like, wait, seriously? Really nice. Yeah. And like, I take pride in that, you know, and I'm sure like 100 people, you know, have asked him or whatever, but or about to, but I don't know, it's kind of cool to, you know, to be able to do that. And yeah, it's nice to, I've had like a couple people, you know, like we're like, oh, you're probably too busy, or, you know, I probably don't have enough books out or something. I'm like, nope, I look at the product. I don't look at, you know, the experience really of the author, because I
Mhm.
feel like that's how I am as a reader. So
Yeah.
I try and do the same. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So 6 years next month, and I
That's
don't plan on
wild.
stopping. So
You shouldn't. You shouldn't do that. Don't stop.
yeah.
So why sci-fi and fantasy? What is it that really draws you to that genre enough that you have had a podcast based around it for the last 6 years?
Well, so for me, for horror, I love like The Woman in Black with like Daniel Radcliffe.
Mhm.
I love the supernatural elements, and putting horror in the name, because I want it to be family friendly, like
Mm.
PG-13. I have a lot of students that watch and stuff.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
nice.
it's awesome. Yeah, they'll like go and comment at like 1:33 in the morning when they're supposed to be sleeping or studying. Or whatever. But or they'll come in on a Monday and be like, dude, that was whack, like, or whatever they say now. Like uh
Them kids saying
yeah,
whack all the time.
yeah, yeah. But like, you know, yeah, but like I've, you know, tailored, and I've had people
Mm.
that were like, you know, even for like grimdark, like I've had some people that were so grimdark, I was like, this isn't my thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like most grimdark, I feel like, you know, it's like pretty good or close. I just had a
Mhm.
horror author the other day. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't do like body horror and stuff like that. Like it's
Mhm.
just not you know, in my rating and stuff. And
Mhm.
I have parents that have contacted me, not of my students, but other parents who are like, oh, it's nice to be in the car and, you know, get to listen to you, and, you know, get to listen with my kid and, you know, talk about books
Oh,
and stuff. Yeah, but like I wanted to encapsulate stuff in there too. Like I've actually interviewed a couple of historical fiction authors.
oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I try to get different people. I have like a like a web comic. Like we're doing this interview. I think it's in September.
Mhm.
I interviewed Ren, Girl with the Mark, a
Mhm.
couple of the directors, and one of the main actresses for the last couple seasons.
That's cool.
That was cool. Yeah, I have two more directors that are coming on for different projects. So
Mhm.
it's nice because I feel like if you're in fantasy and sci-fi, you can kind of encapsulate a lot of the other
Absolutely.
subgenres.
Mm.
Yeah, so for me, it's fun because I get to just kind of do whatever I want and what I enjoy and talk to
Mhm.
people. So it's been really cool.
Awesome. And I have to share this because it made me laugh.
In the game.
Yeah.
Hi, Tim. I have actually had a kid say that. Like, I was up too late
Amazing.
watching an episode. Yeah, like this person was, and I agree. I forget who it was, but I remember
Mhm.
like they were so interesting. And the hour went by so quick for me. So they were like,
Mhm.
yeah, that author, they're like, she was really interesting. Yeah, so they were like, yeah, I'll have to turn it in tomorrow. And I was like, what else could I say? Well, I was like, sure. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's what I said.
Well, this is it. You know, there has to be some give and take.
Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
it.
It's fair.
The views aren't enough. There needs to be more.
Yeah. I had a kid who does like Minecraft videos, and you know, like
Oh.
yeah, and streams, and he goes, "Oh, like I met him 2 years ago. He was like a
Mm.
freshman, and he comes in, he goes, oh, and like we did the, you know, get to know you thing, and he's like, they're like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I write books, and you know, I have podcast books and stuff. He goes, oh, you have a podcast? I go, yeah. Comes up after lunch and goes, you're at like 575 subscribers. He goes, check me out, and he was at like 1900
Oh my
with
goodness.
like 18 videos. Yeah, I was like, dang, dude, like respect. It was awesome though.
Oh, well, good for him, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, just coming back to the anthology for a second. So, there are a few things that, if you haven't heard about this anthology, I would like for you to know. So, the Kickstarter starts on the 1st of September. It's up there. I've already put it there. But there is a link below so that you can follow the Kickstarter, so you'll know what happens when it happens. And if you wanted to take part in this by backing the Kickstarter, you will have the chance of getting your hands on an exclusive and very pretty hardcover of this collection of books. Oh my gosh, it's because the show's called Booked. I'm getting all confused. Collection of stories from over 30, I think it's 34 writers. I might be wrong. Ro, please correct me if I'm incorrect. And as well as that hardcover, you'll also receive one story per day for every day in December. So you may even get a really creepy one on Christmas Day. That might be nice. But it'll go straight to your email inbox. And I believe the hardcovers come out the following year, but I don't know if we've got an actual date for that. We have a lot of really, really cool authors. What, sorry?
34, you got it. Nice job.
Oh, nice.
34 authors.
Nice. I was looking at my notes. I wasn't looking at the thing. Nice one. That's fantastic. And I know that it was announced the other day, but we also have Janny Wirtz, who is going to be writing the foreword for this anthology, which is really friggin' cool. So go and do the thing, please, so that we can make this dream come to life, because so much work has gone into this. Like Mike Mollman and Ro Bushy have done so much work, and we've also got a handful of people that are able to give the time and their energy and resources to make this thing happen. And we also have a unique piece of artwork for every single story, which is a super bonus. So I don't know what else you want me to tell you. You should go do it. Go check it out. Go back it.
You gotta be like me and like check out the list of authors, because holy crap, I was like, I have to write in it. So I was like, I have to write in it, so then I can see what people are doing and then get like a really cool copy. So I think that's why people should check it out, because yeah, like your story was awesome. I'm hooked. Like if you do your own anthology for, like a collection of short stories or whatever, and even though I'm not exactly a horror fanatic, I can't get that everybody, I would still buy it and read it and review it, because yeah, that was awesome. And it's not something I normally read too often, because I'm usually in some of the other subgenres and other genres. But yeah, I mean, it was really cool. So I think that's the nice thing. I think that was the smart thing that Mike and Ro did, was like open, up to interpretation more to get different authors. So I think that's really cool.
Definitely. It's been I accidentally became part of 2 anthologies this year. Both were by invitation, which I thought was really funny, because I haven't published anything else. Like, don't know where you'll get this information from, but I'll give it a go. But both of them had this this interpretable brief where you could put your own spin on stuff, and we've got horror writers, fantasy, sci-fi, romance. So there's a really cool mix of stuff. So even if you don't like all of the stories, you'll find something. And you'll be supporting the dreams of many, which is the important thing, really, if we look at this seriously.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I so agree with you, Holmes. Indie authors will do that to you. They make you love new things. It's so true. It's so true. I don't know about you, but with the indie books that I read and the indie authors that I interview, they just have changed my life quite significantly, and they have made me believe that I can do the thing because they're doing the thing. They're doing the thing with like kids in a full-time job, or they're also doing XYZ, and they're funding their stuff, and they're learning new skills and putting their everything into it. And I just think, what fucking excuse do I have? I don't. But yeah, it's amazing, these people.
Well, I agree with you. I actually I went to the Poison Pen. My wife was, we were planning on moving here. We were in Arizona. I was in Scottsdale at the Poison Pen. Kevin Hearn was signing Iron Druid Chronicles. And I look at this list of authors, and I was like, I don't really know too much who this Brandon Sanderson guy is, or this Patrick Rothfuss. This was like 11 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like, who's Pierce Brown? Michael J. Sullivan looks cool. Brian McCullen. Okay, this kind of looks cool. So, and then there was a bunch of other people too. So I got a bunch of books from Bookman's down there, used bookstore, thrift books, and a couple at Barnes Noble. And then I went with a stack of books and fully intending to talk to the traditional published authors about traditionally publishing my stories and my books. And through the process, I was there from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 9:30 at night. Like, I closed that place down. And it's wild because Kevin and a couple other people changed my whole perspective. And a lot of indie authors were there, and Kevin invited all these other people, and it was just so cool. But yeah, to leave there, and I had no idea what indie was at the time. I wasn't listening, podcasts weren't, we're just on the rise and stuff. I had no idea. I wasn't really even seeing writing stuff on YouTube. And then one of them suggested Lindsay Broker's podcast with Joe Lalo, and I'm always blanking on the other Joe's name. I feel so bad. I know the show hasn't been on in a while, but the OG episodes of the six-figure author podcast, back when it was the fantasy and sci-fi one, it was just really cool to really learn about the process And then some of them I actually like emailed. Like I emailed Kevin Hearn and was like, hey, I'm trying to do this. Like, how do I do research and stuff? And then I contacted some of the indie authors as well, and they were just absolutely amazing people, and I blame them for everything I do now. But it's cool because I know a lot of people and have had so much fun making friends in the community. My wife's always teasing me. I said I'm off to work. She goes, you're just going to hang out with your friends online. I think both of us are right at this point, but yeah, it's a really cool community to be a part of. And like everybody said in the chat too, it's amazing the kind of things that people come up with. So it's awesome.
It really is. And I mean, for me, I've read books I would never have gone anywhere near.
Yeah.
It's really made me consider what is possible. And as well, like when it comes to storytelling, when you make your own rules, you don't have to follow the ones that are set out for you in a more traditional setting. Obviously, it's got its nuances, and this isn't like a black and white thing. But you know, I see people taking risks a lot more, and that is very exciting. I'm seeing that a little bit more traditional now. I've noticed that there are a lot more risky things coming out.
It's like shifting the market a bit more than in the past. Yeah,
for sure. And I think also I've noticed that there have been a few like indie writers and authors who have just exploded. Dungeon Crawler Carl, for example, Matt Dinnerman. He self-published his books.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and now, I mean, he probably is having the time of his life. And is also probably very tired. But like, imagine like self-publishing all your books, and then all of a sudden you're getting like a TV show made, which will be, I think it's being directed by Seth MacFarlane. Like it's now got the most intense cult following I've seen in a long time. So it's possible. It's absolutely possible.
Well, it's cool because like there were people like 11 years ago, you know, that I met that like Django Wexler was not traditionally published at that time. Like he was doing indie, and I think he was hybrid actually at the time. I met a lot of hybrid authors, but yeah, there were other people there that I met, you know, like Michael J. Sullivan was still indie at the time. There was a lot of them, so it was crazy to see now like where people, you know, where like I always have people ask me like, you know, like, how do I get here? What's your advice? Whatever, like, who can I talk to? And everybody always wants to do it in a year. And I'm like, some people get there in a year. Like I just saw, you know, like, I don't want to name names, but I just saw somebody yesterday on Instagram, right? Who I'm sure you also know and follow, who was like, hey, I got this book out, you know, I got this deal, and it's awesome, but it doesn't always happen that way. And some people, it's like George R. R. Martin, where it takes a really long time. A lot of people don't realize how much of a mid-lister he was for that long. And yeah, like you look at Travis, right, with you know, Baldry, and it's like he was the same way, you know, with Legends and Lattes. I mean, he was indie, he was like crunching and then got the deal, which is awesome, and he's an awesome person. But he was also, you know, in the audio community for so long, and you know, he knew all the authors, right? And like, you know, met their agents and stuff. So I always say, just like get your stuff out there, put yourself out there, and you know, who knows? I think the sky's the limit when you do those two things. So
yeah, I think the key is having the energy to keep going even when it's not going very well. And that's something that I see time and time again, especially when you're like lurking on social media, like I assume we both are, is that you see these people getting a lot of momentum, and then something stops them, like it's a life thing or it's like a money thing or whatever the thing may be, and they just kind of fizzle out. And it makes me so sad because there aren't many people who actually finish writing a book, for example, let alone get to the point where they're being published. And I read today that like the publishing industry, bearing in mind the huge percentage of that is like textbooks and stuff like that, is between 33 and 34 billion dollars a year just in the US. Which is crazy. Like there is space for everybody, but the problem is when you have all those books, you've only got a select amount of people that will read them. Therefore, how are you seen?
Well, let's always talk about visibility. And like I've seen a huge shift here in Central New York where I'm at, where I am gonna butcher Kent's last name because I have not heard it said. Kent Poir, In the Wake of the Gods, and he's like a horror, like fantasy author, and I see his book all the time. He's on the other side of the state with me. Well, he goes to like, we have so many shows near us that like are either free or really cheap.
That's
and
cool.
It's like, Yeah, it's awesome. I have like there's another indie bookstore that just opened. So I had literally within a 50-mile radius,
Hmm.
am trying to get into 6,
Hmm.
with only one of them being consignment. And then
Oh wow,
yeah, I know, right?
that's
Yeah, the
really
rest
good.
of them, yeah, the rest of them you just be like, oh yeah, you fill out a paper, you say I'm a local author, I want to be on the shelf, and then
Hmm.
you just update it, which is cool. I'm gonna do like different things around here. The
Hmm.
library is a big one. We got a ton of libraries in our system, which we're really thankful for.
Hmm.
But like I tell people all the time, I'm like, I used to be in sales, and that's what I do every day with kids is trying to sell them on their education and their future. I'm like, I feel like I do better in this type of, either online or in person,
Hmm.
than just, putting
Cool.
out Facebook posts or whatever. So I
Yeah.
think getting out there for most people has been on the rise.
Mm.
DL Jennings, David Trotter, like take your Dave Lawson, they were all just, at a con and stuff together. And
Hmm.
I think really I think in-person shows are actually back on the rise again and selling in
Hmm.
person. Mike might have something to say about that in the chat too, but he's done
Yeah.
a lot of shows. Him and I talked about doing a show together, soon. But yeah, it's really interesting to see where I think like the in-person is actually on the rise
Hmm.
compared to online sales. Because at a con or at a show, you can actually show people your book and actually have an interaction and talk to them. And I've known a lot of people who have had more luck with doing that than doing online. So that's been kind of my goal from the start, is to do more in-person stuff if you can.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I feel like um, I have 2 points. One is having to market on social media is such a like faff because the algorithm's always changing, and every single social media platform has like a different recipe
Mhm.
to bake the same cake. And there are so many people that their attention spans are really short, and you can't make genuine connections. And even if you do comment on stuff and interact with stuff, it's rarely genuine, and it's not built to last. Whereas if you develop friendships and work with, as you say, your local libraries and local bookstores, and like a lot of that won't cost you money. It's just
Yeah.
time. And if you think about how much time one would spend on social media trying to advertise their wares,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
probably have a much better time developing community. Mike, I can now see your comments. I don't know if you were commenting before, but that's the first time in a long time I've seen you.
Yeah. Same.
Um, so yeah, I think that's one thing. And then standing out on social media or online, whether you have a website, whatever your online presence is so hard because everyone has Canva. Everyone has
Yeah.
the same templates as you.
Yeah.
So like branding is so important, and not everybody has the skill for that. And not everybody, I certainly don't, but like not everybody has the skill or time to actually put effort into branding.
Yeah.
That's something that is expected of you because if you're going to stand out, your post has to whiz by on the feed, and somebody has to recognize the font, the layout, the coloring, and go, I know what that is. I'm going to stop and read it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just a skill that a lot of people, they just want to write their books.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends where like I'm like, ooh, can we not do the AI image? Like, can I have Canva Pro from school, from work? I'm like, it'll take me 5 minutes to come up
Hmm.
with something that's not AI, and that looks good. So I've done that for a lot of friends over the
Hmm.
last couple of years. Because like you said, for me, it's like I'll take a break and I'll just take a 15-minute break. And I have a couple
Hmm.
people that are like, no, 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 don't worry about it. I'm like, nope, I got it. And I've had some people where I'll just come up with something, send it to them, and be like, give me feedback, and I
Hmm.
throw it right back to them because I just like, yeah, I know it's hard, right? I've had to develop the skills for work, had to develop the skills for this stuff, and I'm like, I just rather help somebody out than see that they're
Yeah,
drowning or see something. It's my mom. I blame her. She's a interior designer with a graphics design degree.
that's cool.
So she went to like Kendall University. So it's like now #1 design school in the United States. So
Hmm.
it's like I told her the other day, I'm like, you ruined me. I'm like, I can't just see certain things. And it's the teacher in me, right? I can't just
Hmm.
see somebody floundering.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, let me just redesign that real quick, and I'll just throw it back to him because it's like, I want people to be successful.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. Like I had somebody, oh, MJ Kuhn and I, years ago, my first season, like almost 6 years ago,
Hmm.
there was a huge controversy in the indie community. Are we friends or are we competitors? And
Hmm.
her and I talked about it. We're like, well, we're friends. Like, you know, everybody rises together. Like, it makes no sense. And it was just so like interesting of a controversy at that time. And I'm really happy to see that the community really shifted from that concept. And most people are like, no, I'm going to help you. You're going to help me. And that's why podcasters in this community I also love, because there's not one person that's like, no, I can't help you with a cover reveal, or no, I can't do that. Like, everybody's going to try and do something to help you out. And it makes you feel like you're not alone, which I really like about this anthology and like ours. Like, I was like, oh, I'm struggling a little bit. It's like, yeah, why don't we boost each other up and, you know, help each other through this? So I think that's the really cool part.
For sure. I mean, when I first started doing this show, I was very lucky to have some advice from David Badarina, and
nice.
he it was just the most helpful person. Honestly, I was like, a small question, and he was like, let me give you a really detailed explanation as to why this thing is important. It was like, prioritize audio, and, you know, told me what his setup was, and I was like, man, I can't afford that, but that's a really cool thing to shoot for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really valuable advice very early on, and I think that was incredibly helpful. And I think just people in this community are kind of like that. Obviously, if your experience has been different, I'm very sorry, but you need to hang around with different people.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people. You come to my podcast group on Facebook, or, you know, or come hang with me at my peeps, because I tell you, it is so much more fun on this side. And that's, I totally get, like, you know, Twitter and X and like whatever social media platform, TikTok, like, I just tend to stay away from people that are dramatic, or, you know, just they want us to be competitors, right? I'm like, nope. I'm like, I just want to be over here with the cool people. And yeah, it's a lot more fun on this side, guys. So come and join us.
I agree. I can't deal with antagonistic people. I will say, as like a real juxtaposition, I absolutely love watching reality TV. I love, like, The Real Housewives, one of my favorite series on TV. But that's my SAF time, when I spend by myself and I'm just like eating something crispy like chips or popcorn or whatever, and I'm like, this is amazing. But in real life, I can't. No, I haven't got time.
Yeah. That's funny.
So Mike made a very good point. So Comic-Cons are great if you're willing to chat with people. If you're not a people-y person, there might be something else that you want to do. Or share a stall or a table with somebody that you know is a people-y person that also is willing to help you pick up your stuff, because that'll help too. And yes, I do agree, Tim. There is like a subsection of people in the indie author community that kind of shifted to, I think a lot of it comes from jealousy, because I see people like digging at people because of their success, which is a bit sad. But, you know, I do think that people forget, whether it's like podcasting or, you know, conducting yourself online in any way, if you're trying to sell something like a book, your show, your artistic skills, you are responsible for the image that you put out there. So if you go around acting like an ass, nobody's going to want to do business with you. Anyway.
And then I think that's the thing, is like, you know, that I take the most pride in is like, you know, like 6 seasons is great. I've interviewed some cool people. I interviewed Shauna McGuire my first season. It's like 20 episodes in, and she's like,
wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? And she gave me a master class in like answers. And I was like, to this day, I have people go back. It was cool because I had like Carissa Broadbent before she signed her deal, and now all her books are everywhere. And it's just awesome, you know, to see. But yeah, it's like, it's really crazy, I think, to kind of like take a minute and just think, oh, it's cool to really, you know, look at community. And, you know, I've had a lot of people message me and like, oh, thank you so much for interviewing me. You're my first interview. It's my first book. I don't know. I take a lot of pride in that. And the fact that people keep emailing, and I said to people recently, and like some agents and things, I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, I had to go through like 500 emails of spam to get to the 250 that actually, you know, emailed me to inquire, maybe had, you know, multiple emails. It's sometimes I need an assistant. It just takes me forever sometimes. And I'm not like, but I tell people, I'm like, I had somebody say something like, oh, like the other day, a social media friend of mine, he's like, oh, you're probably too busy for me, or I probably don't. I'm like, nope. So I like messaged him. I was like, hey, I actually have a slot, you know, like afternoon free. Like, let's do this. I had another interview later in the day, and I don't want anybody to ever feel like they're not big enough, or they're not whatever. I'm like, nope, you are a creator, you're valued. And I think that is really, important for us to cultivate. And I think if we do that, end of day, like if I see you or somebody else, and I get guilty of this. Like I had a friend earlier who had like a post, and like I was sharing. And then I was like, I gotta go because I'm getting on here. And I shared it again because I was like, what if I was thinking, what if I'm like the one person that doesn't share that could have made my friend go viral?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm always trying to help people out. And I think it's just cool when I've had people ask me to beta read, and I'm like, are you really? Like, I'm like, you haven't read any of my stuff yet? And they're like, yeah. So I have like 13 people. I think I did have 15 now, which is awesome. So, once I'm done with this round of my prequel novella, I can send it to them. And it's just really cool, to have people, hey, how can I help you out? Because I always forget, like I always forget to ask for help. Like I'm always trying to help people, but it's cool to like have a community where it feels like people have your back. And I love getting like a new author on and then being able to help them on social media, or, being able to hook them up on a podcast like yours or someone else's and see them, get success. I don't know. It feels really good. I don't know if a bunch of sales would ever feel better than that, to be quite honest. So like it's just cool I think to be able to help people in that way through this type of platform and community. So it's really awesome.
Well, with that in mind, I think it's very important that if you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or watching the recording on whoever's channel it is, you should go and subscribe to whoever you don't subscribe to, because it really helps people out. It is so important for what we're doing to platform people. We need eyes and ears and people to consume the thing, to be exposed to these people and have them be exposed to you in a non-weird way, largely their work. But yeah, yes, sales do feel very good. But also sometimes you have to admit that the satisfaction can be found elsewhere, because not everybody gets good sales. I think enjoying the process is super important as well. But before we,
as Joe sent me, I was like, oh, I have to wait till next month because I had used my Audible credit or whatever, and whatever. And Joe's like, I'm gonna give you this. So Joe gave me, So he's over there swimming in his money like Donald Duck, or Donald Duck, or whatever his name is, Scrooge McDuck. But at the same time, he's one of the sweetest, kindest guys that you'll meet and see in the community. So
who's also part of the anthology.
Who is also part, yeah.
So speaking of which, before we wind this show down, because this time's gone by very quickly. So if you haven't already gathered, the point of this is for us to talk about the Kickstarter for the Rings of Adventure anthology. So the thing is down there, and the thing is that. So go do that thing. You can follow it now. The Kickstarter starts on the 1st of September. You can get a really cool book with 34 different stories based around the theme of rings, and each of those stories will have unique artwork. And in December, if you back the Kickstarter campaign, you will get a free, well, not free, it's included in the thing, a story every day of the month of December. So go check it out. I will make you feel guilty if you don't.
There's a Kickstarter.
There is a Kickstarter, Sarah. You should know this by now. You cheeky lady. But yeah, it's like, I don't know what time it is where she is. It's like
it's late, right?
She's tired. She's tired. I'm proud of her. We've got a live show tomorrow, where we're gonna have like, I think it's 6 different authors come and do readings.
Oh, cool.
And Sarah hosts it, and it's at the same time. So tomorrow at like 1 a.m. she's gonna be like
That's awesome.
She'll do great. I believe in her. But yeah, so go check out the Kickstarter, basically. That's what I'm getting at.
Do it.
Yeah. As a command. I will haunt you if you don't. And if you can't afford to back the Kickstarter financially, then please go follow anybody that you can think of that will be in the anthology. I'm not going to list everybody. And share all the posts. Specifically Mike Molman and Rosaire Bushy will be posting all the good stuff. So go and help share stuff. That's free. You could go do that.
Yeah, it really helps. Yeah,
for sure. Visibility.
Yep.
So I just want to say thank you so much for doing this crossover today. It's been a lot of
Oh,
fun.
thank you. Yeah, I was like, I crossed you off my list for 2 months from now. Sweet.
Done your
Like,
good deed for the year.
I was like, this is awesome. And I didn't know, I didn't know about that, Sarah. So yeah, I'll have to talk to you guys about that off the air and figure something out there too. Anytime I can get into a new space and talk to people, or follow, like you said, subscribe. I subscribe to way too many podcasts. It's my thing though. So it's always fun to listen because you ask so many different questions than I do. It really, like, it's the same as reading and writing, I think, as an author. And getting to read your story, I'm like, oh, maybe I could think about writing my next story differently. I do the same thing with podcasting too. So when people ask me about podcasting, I'm like, I watch a lot of people, and I don't know, it's really like opened my mind up to different ways of writing, even, or or how to do social media or whatever. So I think it's really valuable. So
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today.
thank
You for filling the chat with both helpful things and nonsense. So if you are, again, watching this as the recording, go and subscribe to both of our channels because it's super helpful. Go back to Kickstarter and stay safe out there, everybody. I don't know why I said that. I'm not Ron Burgundy. I'm not channeling that as a thing. I'm going to stop now. I should. I could stop shaving my moustache, and I could become Ron Burgundy. I feel like I've got the 70s, 80s thing with the aviators and all the brown going on.
That'd be awesome. That would be really cool, actually. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a mullet as well. I'll think about it. Anyway, goodbye, everybody, and I'll see you on the other side, Daniel. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.